Well, everybody, time to do my Warner Brothers Blu-ray collection for 2024 edition. So, anyways, no time to waste. Let's begin. And this movie needs a rewatch soon because this movie has the late Chadwick Boseman and Harrison Ford. And the case is in terrible condition, but that's alright. At least the Blu-ray still plays fine, so yep. Awesome 2022 movie. One of my all-time favorite movies of the year. My parents and I saw this movie in theaters on my 20th birthday. And there's going to be a sequel called The Batman Part 2, which will be released in 2026. Which I don't know if I'm going to be watching the sequel or not. But we'll see. There we go. Blake and I saw this movie in theaters back in October, and this is a good underrated DC movie starring Pierce Brosnan and Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam himself. Really good Pokemon movie that I enjoyed a few years ago. And my dad and I saw this movie in theaters in 2019 before we moved to another house. This movie has Justice Smith, uh, Catherine Newton, and Bill Nighy. And Ryan Reynolds did the voice of Pikachu, so yep. Great remake to the 1985 original, which I have the original on DVD, so yep. This this movie has Fantasia, Danielle Brooks, Coleman Domingo, and Tara P. Henson. And Whoopi Goldberg did make a cameo appearance in this movie, so yep. Classic movie from 1967 and one of my all-time favorite movies. This movie has Paul Newman, and George Kennedy. Good underrated 2022 movie, which this movie has Harry Styles, Florence Pugh, Olivia Wilde, Kiki Lane, and Chris Pine. And this is a New Line Cinema movie from 2022. If you haven't seen this movie, I recommend you watch it. So, yep. Awesome war movie from 2017, written and directed by Christopher Nolan. This movie has Mark Rylance, Kenneth Breath, uh, oh yeah, Tom Hardy, and Cillian Murphy. Got this Blu-ray from Shopco back in 2017. Just a year and a half before Chapter 11 bankruptcy. One of my all-time favorite 2022 movies that Blake and I saw this movie in theaters on opening night. And this movie has some amazing soundtrack. And Austin Butler and Tom Hanks did an amazing job playing Elvis Presley and Colonel Tom Parker, Elvis's manager. Saw this movie before, and I really liked it. This movie has Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams, and Jesse Plemons. Saw this movie in theaters with my parents on my 16th birthday back in 2018. Oh, get these Blu-rays out of the way. There we go. Classic movie from 1984, which this movie has Phoebe Cates, Zach Gilligan, and Howie Mandel. He did the voice of Gizmo. The case has a crack in it, but hopefully the Blu-rays still play fine. So, yep. Classic movie from 1985, which this movie has Sean Astin, Josh Brolin, Corey Feldman, Ken Han Kwan, and Joe Panettiere. Joe Panettiere plays Captain Conrad Howard in the Bad Boys movies. And this is Melissa's one of Melissa's, my stepmom's all-time favorite movies there. So, yep, if you haven't seen this movie. So, yep. This is the 1990 version of It. And I know there is a 2017 and the sequel from 2019, which I'm planning to get those soon for my collection. Amazing 2021 movie, which this movie has Anthony Ramos, along with Stephanie Beatrice and Lin-Man Miranda. Good underrated 2013 movie, starring Nicholas Hoult, along with Aaron McGregor, Stanley Tucci, E. McShane, and Bill Nighy. Got this Blu-ray from St. Vincent de Paul back in 2020. Awesome 2021 movie, which this movie has Danielle Kaluuya, Lakeith Stanfield, and Martin Sheen. Mikey and I saw this movie in theaters, and we liked it. This movie has Denzel Washington, Remy Malek, and Jared Leto. And this movie reminds me of Seven, which is a New Line Cinema movie starring Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and Kevin Spacey. Saw this movie before, and I liked it. Plus, it's one of my all-time favorite Clint Eastwood movies from 2018. This movie needs a rewatch soon, so yep. I'll watch this movie after after Thanksgiving or Christmas, so yep. And this movie has Tom Hanks, Laura Linney, and directed by Clint Eastwood. This is one of my all-time favorite 2020 movies, and my dad and I saw this movie in theaters. After quarantine, this movie stars Robert Pattinson, John David Washington, along with Kenneth Branagh and Michael Caine. If you haven't seen this movie, I recommend you watch it. So, yep. Oh, this movie right here needs a rewatch. So, yep. And saw this movie before back in 2021. Saw this movie before and I liked it. Starring Miles Teller and Jonah Hill. Three more Blu-rays for his video, and then we'll wrap this things up. This is the first Blu-ray I ever owned since 2017. And this movie stars Gal Gadot along with Chris Pine and Robin Wright. An awesome 2017 movie right here. And here's the sequel, which is right here. And this sequel has Pedro Pascal and Christian Wing. And finally, here's the last Blu-ray for this video. Great 2020, great 2023 movie from last year, starring Timothy Chaplin and Hugh Grant. This movie also has Sally Hawkins, and I believe Keegan Michael Key. He's also in this movie as well. I do have Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory on VHS, which is the 1996 Warner Brothers Family Entertainment 25th anniversary, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which I have the full screen DVD of it. And and there you have it for my Warner Brothers Blu-ray collection for 2024 edition. So anyways, Oppenheimer Me 2002. See y'all later. And stay tuned for my Sony Blu-ray collection for 2024 edition. So, yep.